When I heard that my son David abruptly quit his job, I felt a sense of responsibility as a parent. Following my daughter-in-law's instructions, I decided to send them $1,000 every month. For someone living on Social Security, $1,000 a month is a significant amount. But I kept telling myself it's until David finds a job, and I continued to send money while tightening my own belt. However, far from expressing gratitude, my daughter-in-law treated me like a maid. Fed up, I stated clearly in front of David and his wife, "I will no longer help with the cleaning." This infuriated David and his wife. "How dare a pensioner like you act so high and mighty over a lousy $1,000 a month? It's only natural for a parent to help their child when they're in trouble." "That's right. If it were my parents, they would send me money. What makes you think you can tell me to work? I even gave you a grandchild, you should be thanking me." I couldn't believe my ears at their arrogant remarks. After all, I had been cutting back on my own life, enduring physical and emotional hardship, all for David and his wife's sake. Why do I have to be treated this way? Enough is enough. If they are going to take that attitude, I have my own thoughts too. Don't come crying to me later. I am Alice, a 73-year-old housewife. David, my eldest son, always had a bit of arrogance due to his academic abilities, which worried me. After graduating from college and starting to live on his own, he showed no sign of getting married. But 5 years ago, he brought home his coworker, Hope, announcing that she was his fiancée. Eventually, David and Hope, who got married, started living in a condo about a 30-minute drive away. When their daughter Sarah was born, we had fun times like going out to pick out a baby doll for her, and taking family photos with David's family. But everything changed after my husband passed away 4 years ago. David's decision to quit his job was the trigger. He was ridiculed by his boss in a meeting for a project he worked hard on and couldn't stand it. Shocked by the message from David, I immediately called him. "Have you already found your next job? I'll take it easy for a while and then start looking." I was taken aback. Wasn't it irresponsible of him, a married man with a young child and a wife? "You haven't started looking yet? Sarah is still only 2 years old. It will be tough for Hope to work full-time. Or are you going to be a house husband?" "Of course not, housework is a woman's job. Don't worry, I'll work eventually." His casual tone did nothing to ease my worries. But it felt strange to lecture David, now in his 40s, about his responsibilities as a father. Thinking of Hope's feelings, I was consumed by guilt. It must be a disaster for her that her husband, who worked for one of the leading companies, suddenly quit his job. I contacted Hope and headed for David and Hope's condo. "I'm sorry that my son has caused you trouble." In response to my deep apology at the front door, Hope vented her intense anger. "What kind of upbringing did you give that man? It's a husband's duty to provide for his family, right? Our life plan is totally ruined now. Please take responsibility as a parent." "Oh, I'm sorry. I plan to support him as a mother until he gets a job." In front of my downcast self, Hope extended her hand smoothly. When I raised my face, Hope was glaring at me with a face full of anger. "Give me $30,000. "What?" "Assuming it takes half a year until he gets a new job, based on his previous salary, that's $21,000. Adding bonuses, $30,000. If you feel guilty, compensate." "But that's so sudden. It's your son who suddenly quit his job. It's a problem, you know. Kids cost a lot of money." I did not expect to be suddenly demanded a large amount of money. I thought she was a lovely daughter-in-law with a nice smile, but this was the real her. $30,000 is a deal considering what we've put up with. If not, I'll divorce. Then, you won't see your lovely grandchild. Of course, I'll demand property division from David. Is that all right?" Her arrogant words were annoying, but there's no denying my son caused the inconvenience. She must be feeling uneasy. "All right. I'll transfer it as soon as the bank opens tomorrow." At my response, Hope's anger seemed to have finally subsided. I took the note with Hope's account number, returned home, and as promised, I made the transfer the next morning. As a retiree living off my pension, it was a painful expense, but if this money eases Hope's anxiety and allows David to focus on job hunting, I thought it's unavoidable. But the demands of my eldest son and his wife did not end there. About a month after David quit his job, I received a call from Hope. As soon as I answered the phone, Hope's angry voice echoed. After all, that meager amount is not enough at all. I'm sorry, but I live on a pension, you know. Although I have some savings and my husband's inheritance, I don't have much leeway. Oh, right, you have your father-in-law's inheritance. Hope made a muffled laugh. Times have changed from your era. It costs money to raise kids these days. Sarah's preschool, piano and ballet lessons, tutoring, and even my social life. If I look shabby, Sarah will be embarrassed. Well, I see. Then, what should I do? Just $1,000 a month is fine. For a moment, my mind went blank. $1,000 a month until David finds a job. That's $12,000 a year. I felt despondent, but I said in a cheerful voice. All right, $1,000. I'll transfer it tomorrow. Yay, thank you. Hope said in a chirpy voice and hung up the phone. From then on, I scrimped on everything to come up with the monthly $1,000. Eventually, I plan to leave this house and enter a nursing home, so I need to keep my husband's inheritance untouched. If I allocate my small savings to the remittance, I will have to live on my pension alone, and the utility bills and food expenses will weigh heavily. So first, I gave up my hobbies. I quit crafting and gardening, which cost material fees and ticket charges, and stopped going to theaters. Furthermore, to save on utility bills, I refrained from using air conditioning and oil heaters, and tried to get by with just fans. Even so, life was hard. I had to change from my usual beauty salon to a cheaper one in the neighborhood. I gave up dyeing my gray hair and getting perms, and limited myself to just getting haircuts a few times a year. On a day I was staying home to save money and idly watching TV, I got a call from Hope. Hello, Hope. What's up? Alice, you're free, right? Come to our house right now. Feeling puzzled, I went over, only to find a dolled-up Hope and Sarah waiting for me at the door. In a hurry, they strangely led me to their kitchen sink. Please clean the kitchen. Huh? As I stood there bewildered, Hope put her hands on her hips and leaned back. If you can only spare $1,000, then please make up for it with some labor. We're off to a friend's kid's birthday party, so please make sure everything is sparkling clean by the time we get back. Bye, Grandma. Leaving me stunned, Hope and Sarah left. I was at a loss, but thought, well, maybe I could help out once in a while. I did have spare time. Hope, busy with child rearing, probably couldn't keep up with the cleaning. However, Hope started calling on me frequently afterwards. Make dinner, mop the floor, scrub the mold in the bathroom. There were even requests like pick up Sarah from kindergarten and stay at home until I get back, about once a week. Cleaning and doing household chores at someone else's house took a toll on my nerves and energy. Literally whipping my old body into shape, I gritted my teeth and agreed quietly, thinking, it's an apology for the trouble David has caused. During this time, an old friend from my student days, Emma, invited me to lunch. Seeing me after a long time, Emma seemed taken aback. No wonder, half a year ago when we met, I had a short, chestnut-colored hair, but now I had black hair mixed with gray, tied back, no makeup, and a plain outfit. I looked suddenly old. What happened, Alice? You were always so stylish. When I told her the circumstances, Emma frowned. David is a grown-up, Alice. It's strange that you feel responsible. You should firmly decline requests from your daughter-in-law. Can I refuse? Yes, you can. Your daughter-in-law is being too brazen. After talking and receiving advice about David and Hope, I parted ways with Emma and headed home feeling brighter than I had in a long time. A few days later, I went to David and Hope's apartment to do the cleaning that Hope had asked for. This is it. I decided I would refuse next time. As I was about to leave after finishing the air conditioner cleaning, I ran into Hope and Sarah in the communal hallway, who had just returned from outside. As usual, both of them were dressed up. The elegant woman who seemed to be a friend of Hope's was also there, along with a girl who looked about the same age as Sarah. On the other hand, I was dressed in a shabby gray sweatsuit, my black hair mixed with white hair tied up messily. Feeling miserable about the stark difference in our appearances, I quickly looked down. I handed the keys to Hope, bowed to her friend, and quickly left. As I was about to turn the corner of the hallway, I heard a snippet of Hope's conversation. That's your mother-in-law? Yeah, my housekeeper. It's convenient to use her for free. I wish I had one. No, you can't. she's too embarrassing to be seen in public. Indeed, she does look shabby. Right? I wouldn't want to end up like that old hag. I felt hot all over with embarrassment and anger. Who does she think is forcing me into this frugal life? After I got home, I contacted David saying, I'd like to have a talk with you and Hope. A week later, on a weekday when Sarah was at kindergarten, I proposed a meeting, which David's couple readily accepted. On the day, as I was invited into their lovely living room and took a seat on the sofa, I looked at Hope and confronted her directly. I won't be coming to help with cleaning anymore. After a moment of silence, Hope rattled off complaints rapidly. Why not? You promised to support us until David gets a job. Are you abandoning us? Hope, I'm not a maid. I was going out of my way to help because David was causing trouble, but I'm done. I stared alternately at the faces of Hope and David, and I spelled it out for them as if they were slow. Not working is David's problem, not mine. And if you're struggling to get by, you should think about working yourself before asking me for money. At this, David slammed his hands down on the table. With a loud thud, my heart jumped. Surprised, I looked at David, who was glaring at me with a vein pulsating in his forehead. How dare a pensioner like you act so high and mighty over a lousy $1,000 a month? As a parent, it's only natural to help out your struggling kids. Just take care of us without complaining. Yeah. My parents would definitely help out in your situation. Telling me to work, who do you think you are? We even gave you a grandchild, you should be thanking us. I couldn't believe my ears at the arrogance of David and Hope. After a moment of stunned silence, a fierce anger surged up in me. I had been scrimping and saving, enduring both physical and mental hardships to keep sending money for David and Hope. Why should I have to put up with this? Enough is enough. If they're going to act like that, I have my own thoughts on the matter. Don't expect me to feel sorry when you're crying later. After taking a breath, I said in a low voice. Oh really? If that's how you feel, I want my money back. $60,000. Huh? My firm rejection left David and Hope flustered. I never said I didn't need the money. Remember, you're David's mom. You fulfilled your responsibility. I don't know about that. David hasn't fulfilled his duties as a husband or a father either. Hope snickered and defended David. This man takes care of Sarah. When he's home, he bathes her, feeds her, even takes her to the park. He's very devoted to childcare since he's not working. Oh, he does work sometimes. Huh? Hope, he hasn't given you any money. That's odd. With a provocative tone, I called her out, and Hope made a puzzled face. Meanwhile, David began to fidget noticeably. I continued my poor act. Oh, I see. David's been pouring all the money he earned from his part-time job into the casino. He's too busy visiting the casino and hardly ever goes to the job center. I wonder if he feels guilty and that's why he's taking care of Sarah. Hope's eyes widened. And I know the real reason why he quit his job. At my smug face, David's cheeks twitched. He told you that he resigned because his project was ridiculed by his boss, but the truth is, he got drunk and hit on the boss's daughter, which enraged him. That's the real reason. Why do you know that? I shrugged and explained. I heard it from Emma. From Emma? David asked, repeating what I'd just said. Emma works as a cleaner at the company you used to work at. I didn't know that, he replied. You wouldn't recognize her in her uniform. The news spread through the office right after you quit, and it even reached Emma's ears. David, is what she just said true? Instead of replying, David fell silent, looking sullen. Then, I tried to recreate the conversation that Emma taught me. Man, those rumors about you being the company's top beauty are legit. Compared to you, my wife Hope is a piece of junk. Gotta admit, younger women are just better. Hey, why not keep it hush-hush from the boss and we can hang out? I'm destined for success, you know, there's no loss in choosing me. As I altered my voice and postured, David swiftly paled, stumbling over his excuses. Did I really say something like that? Can't recall it at all. Guess it was just a slip of the tongue while drunk. Hope, you'll forgive me, right? Oh, you know what they say about alcohol revealing one's true self. As David tried to feign ignorance, Hope, sitting next to him, was blushing crimson, her fists tightly clenched. Am I a piece of junk, huh? No, it's not like that. Just a slip of the tongue. You are lying. Hope grabbed David by the shoulder and began to shake him furiously. Didn't you tell me that you couldn't find a job, so you had to spend your days at the job center? If you're working, hand over your pay. No way. If I give it to you, it'll just disappear on your bags and Sarah's clothes. Of course, the husband's money belongs to the wife. That's where you're wrong. David retorted just as furiously. Hope pointed at me with a fierce expression and unleashed a tirade. This old hag only gives me a measly $1,000. I have to beg my dad for the rest. Aren't you ashamed as a husband? Of course, $1,000 isn't enough for you to lavish on your boys. Did you already give away the initial $30,000 I gave you? I'm not supporting them. I'm just helping out Mike with his dreams. At Hope's words, David tilted his head in confusion. I've never heard about you getting $30,000 from my mom. Oh, shoot. Hope hurriedly covered her mouth. Having accidentally revealed her secret in the heat of argument, it seemed Hope decided to just double down. She's got guts. Who's this Mike guy? He's just a classmate from college. Wow, he looks like a pop star. Did you hit it off at a mixer? Does he know you're a married woman with a child? As I placed the photo taken by the private investigator on the table, Hope snatched it up and shoved it into her pocket. David's face changed. I thought it was strange that you were dressing up so young when you left Sarah with me. You were making my mom not only do housework, but also look after Sarah? You're abandoning your duties as a mother. You had a PI track me? You really have too much time on your hands. After swearing at me, Hope turned a forced smile towards David. David, don't believe what your mom says. He's just a classmate from college. I'm just helping him with his band activities, selling tickets, buying merchandise, and occasionally giving him a bit of cash as a tip. A tip? So, you're essentially showering a young guy with gifts. And you call yourself a mother. At his final words, Hope exploded. All you do is nag about motherhood. The fool who tries to seduce his boss's daughter is the one unfit to be a father. I married you because I heard you had a promising future working at a big corporation, but you just up and quit. You're nothing more than trash now that you're unemployed. David was also incensed by Hope's screaming, spit flying from her mouth, her eyes bloodshot. What did you say? I tried to extort money from your mother, but your mother is poor. You two are just as useless. What did you say, you jerk? Okay, keep your fighting for after I've left. Alice stepped in between the arguing couple, who looked ready to start brawling at any moment, waving a piece of paper. Both of you, read this. No way, it's a hassle. David clicked his tongue next to Hope, who tilted her head. This is my dad's handwriting. What? The couple went pale as they read the paper, their faces on the verge of tears. It's no wonder. The paper was a message from Hope's father. It seems you guys don't want to work, so I'm cutting off financial support to Hope this month. From now on, combine your strengths as a couple and pay back the $66,000 you owe David's mom. Mom, you went to Hope's parents' house? Yes, I did. I smiled at David, who asked nervously. I showed them a photo of Hope giving a wad of cash to a boy in a cafe, and of David gambling. Furthermore, I told them, I'm supporting them with $1,000 a month, yet Hope treats me like a housemaid. They were quite angry. Unable to participate in a discussion due to work, they entrusted this to me. What? It's totally inappropriate to storm into my parents' house. This is our problem. Don't involve my parents. You have the nerve to say that after involving me. I was dumbfounded by Hope's selfish remarks. Now, as Hope just said, this is a problem between the two of you. It was wrong to ask me for help. From now on, you should manage on your own without relying on your parents. First, return the $66,000. You owe it. At my words, Hope, who had been yelling just a moment ago, suddenly changed her attitude. With a pitiful expression on her face, she began to speak in a coaxing tone, dripping with excuses. It's too late for me to start working now. I decided to become a housewife once I got married. If you insist on me working, I want to start a nail salon. I guess $50,000 would be enough? Following Hope's lead, who was implicitly begging for money with teary eyes, David also drastically changed his attitude. He knelt before me, adopting a begging pose and pleading in a pitiful voice. I'm 45, you know? It'll take time to find a job that suits me. So, I'll need to ask you for a little more support. I promise I'll pay you back someday. Please, I'll work. Please give me $50,000 to start my salon. Also, please continue to support us with $1,000 a month. Shut up! At the sound of my shout echoing in the room, David and Hope looked startled. Don't keep babbling on and on. Aren't you ashamed as Sarah's parents? Have some parental awareness. David and Hope, who had been taken aback, sat up straight under my glare. Yes. You're supposed to earn your own damn keep. You're pathetic. I am sorry. I don't want to waste my energy. Don't you dare make me angry. I'm sorry. Seeing David and Hope shrink in fear, I felt a jolt of realization. Oh, I'd done it. I had completely sealed away my turbulent past, a result of my parents' divorce when I was young. Emma had warned me when I got married, when you lose your temper, it's like a demon's face. It's not good for children's education. So I always left disciplining David to my husband and played the supportive role. But this time, my anger had long exceeded its limit. I finally lost patience with the pathetic couple. Hey. It's a complete lie to say she's not scary when she's angry. I had no idea either. It was always Dad's job to get mad at me. I once again showered my eldest son and daughter-in-law, who were whispering to each other, with shouts of anger. So, are you returning the $66,000 or not? Which is it? We will return it. Trembling, my eldest son and his wife shouted in unison. David, getting up off his heavy ass, began looking for a full-time job in earnest. However, it seemed like he kept failing in the interviews, perhaps because his arrogant attitude slipped through. Having no choice, David abandoned his career in office work and took a job at a factory. But with just that, he was barely making ends meet and couldn't put anything towards repaying his debt to me, so he was desperately earning money by also working part-time on his days off. He scoffed at me, saying $1,000 or so, but he must be feeling the difficulty of earning $1,000 down to his bones. As for Hope, she apparently begged her father for the $50,000 she needed to start a nail salon. As expected, she angered her parents and they cut off ties with her. A younger guy from college named Mike dumped her swiftly after she told him that she was married and couldn't provide any financial support. So, Hope began working as well. Just like David, she is juggling several jobs and paying back the debt to me every month. The eldest son and his wife, full of mutual distrust, can't stop fighting and divorce has been discussed, but if they divorced, paying back the debt would become even more difficult, so they reluctantly lived together. Unable to bear seeing the constantly squabbling couple, Hope's parents have taken Sarah to their home. I was able to start using the $1,000 per month that I had been giving to the eldest son and his wife for myself, and by securing repayments from the two of them every month, I regained a comfortable lifestyle. I made an appointment at the hair salon I used to frequent for the first time in several years, had them tidy up my hair, and dyed it ash color. I refreshed my mood, bought new makeup and clothes, replaced my old interior goods, and did all the things I had been refraining from doing for the past few years, letting out my pent-up desires. I blocked the contact details of the eldest son and his wife because they were annoying. The phone kept ringing from both of them, I received long messages full of complaints, and they kept begging persistently, saying, "I'm sorry, give me money." The eldest son and his wife are hopeless, but my granddaughter Sarah is cute, so I keep in touch with Hope's parents and let me see her occasionally. Both I and her grandparents can't help but smile at Sarah, who is innocently cute, unlike the eldest son and his wife. I no longer have to worry about the lives of the eldest son and his wife, and I feel as though a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. From now on, I plan to live my life as I like, pursuing my hobbies and interacting with my granddaughter.